Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my top 10 compliment getting fragrances for the summer. These are all very fun, outgoing, playful scents that are going to get you a ton of attention from everyone around you. Certified neck snappers, wearer beware. These will have people chasing you down the street to ask you what you're wearing. So we're gonna start off with the fragrance called Dahab by Cavort. Now this fragrance is an absolute statement maker. It's a beautiful passion fruit fragrance with a really nice earthy balance. It's not going to be your typical tropical fragrance. It's very ambery with coriander and a green patchouli, and I really love that contrast between even just the fruits in this scent, because the passion fruit comes off very like juicy sweet, but it's mixed with a very nice like tart apple. So just in the fruitiness, you're gonna find a little bit of like a balance, but when you compare the fruitiness to the base of this is where it gets really interesting. You have a really nice, dense, kind of musky base to Dahab. And this is a fragrance that is done by the master perfumer, Christian Carbonell. And it kind of has like this classic DNA. If you're familiar with Christian Carbonell's work, he's the creator of Herba Pura. He really knows how to do a fantastic fruity fragrance. This is going to be the fruity type of scent that you can wear day or night. It's not too fruity sweet and very balanced with this nice kind of earthy, denser, ambery base, but this is just a very, very sultry fragrance for the nighttime. Summer nights, it's beautiful. Slightly woody in the base. This is one of my favorites from Cavort, Dahab. So next up, we have Virgin Island Water from Creed. Definitely the most tropical and playful fragrance from Creed, and also one of the best coconut fragrances ever made, especially for a man. It's just a crazy, different, and unique take on coconut. Very fresh and citrusy in the top with this really vibrant lime, like a really kind of tart, juicy lime mixed with that coconut. But it's not done in a milky way whatsoever. It's like a very airy coconut. Very citrusy in here with bergamot and Sicilian orange. Really, every aspect about this fragrance is very airy. There's nothing really dense about it, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like a light fragrance, if that makes sense. Like it's very fresh, very bright and airy, but it's not like a light, barely there type of scent. There's definitely some like depth to it, some weight to it. There are some floral notes in here like ylang ylang, jasmine and hibiscus. It's subtle in the scent, and once again, it's not typical. It doesn't feel like typical yellow floral, like kind of enveloping scent. It's just very airy. It's the best way to describe it. Very ethereal. And I want to reiterate again that this is not a milky scent whatsoever. Honestly, it kind of even goes in a dry direction. It is fantastic. We have white rum and sugar cane. There's definitely a really nice kind of sugary element to this scent, but it's not like a thick sugariness. Once again, I'm like a broken record over here, guys. Everything in this is very fresh. With a lot of musk in the base, it's an absolute must-have. It's like has this kind of clean muskiness, but at the same time, very boozy and citric. It's incredibly well blended. It just smells like a fun time. One of the absolute best and most unique from Creed, Virgin Island Water. So this next fragrance on the list is a scent that I have gotten so many requests to talk about, not just this fragrance in particular, but the brand as a whole. And I only have a decant right now that I got from Scentbird, but we're talking about Blockade from Mind Games. Mind Games is such a hot brand right now anyways, and we all know that Mind Games is a little bit on the pricey side, so it's always best to start off with a sample when you can, and I recently started using Scentbird's subscription service, and I'm really liking it. I personally am the type of person that always tries to get a decant of something before investing in a full-size bottle, especially if it's on the pricier side, and using a service like Scentbird is just, it's a great way to avoid a failed blind buy, because you get a ton of juice in this. You can see on the inside of the travel case, you get about 8 mLs of juice in here, so it's more than enough to really test it out and see, you know, if it's a scent for you or not. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the fragrance. Give it a spray. These have nice atomizers too. This is gorgeous. It's a very green, aromatic, musky mango. Has bergamot and pink pepper with tomato leaf, with lavender, star anise, patchouli, amber, and agarwood. It kind of has this Aventus-like DNA, but done in a more green kind of herbal way. I wouldn't say that you necessarily perceive that tomato leaf like so straightforwardly, but it does add something very, very slightly green, kind of vegetal in the background, but in a really good way. It like really mixes really well, especially when you put it next to the mango in this. It has a very strong mango note, really juicy mango with some added spice. It is a stunning, stunning twist on this DNA. Very, very, very sexy on a man. It does lean masculine because of this spiciness and this muskiness. It is a total standout. Definitely for like the type of guy that likes to go out, likes to have fun, like the life of the party, a very like happy mood scent, but in a very like celebratory kind of party way. It gets woodier as it dries as well, but it is very, very fresh and bright, even with the woods in this. I can definitely see the hype behind Blockade, and honestly, once my decant is up, I'm gonna be getting a full-size bottle. I really, really, really enjoy this, especially for this summer. Like, you just want a very fun scent. Blockade is so good. It has all of that classic, very appealing sexiness of Aventus, but done in a tropical, fruitier, kind of more exotic way. It makes it new and modern. Honestly, I'm obsessed with it. And I did actually pick up some other fragrances from Scentbird as well. Another one from Mind Games, I got Leonora, which is one that I wanted to test out for myself. It's definitely more feminine leaning. It's a really nice kind of like fruity, sweet peach scent with passion fruit. But another one that I got that I was actually considering buying a bottle of because I've been seeing so much hype about, it's Wave Child by Room, 1005? It's the watermelon fragrance that everyone has been talking about, people have been obsessing over, and I almost fell for the hype and bought a full-size bottle, but honestly, I'm really, really glad that I got this because it's not for me at all. Honestly, I don't understand the hype. I think it's very like synthetic and rough and just kind of headache inducing. So I'm happy that I only got a decant and didn't spend money on a full-size bottle because that would have been really disappointing and really sad. You can try new scents every single month and they have a wide variety, niche and designer, and I like the little travel size, especially as a woman. I like to just throw them in my purse, especially for the summer when it's really hot. I like to put a couple of these in my purse and just reapply throughout the day when I feel very hot. And it's also a great way to expand your knowledge on fragrances in general, because I know that a lot of the fragrances that you hear about online are not so accessible or easy to try in store. So getting a decant of it is a great way to figure out like what your personal style is and what you would want in a signature scent. So if you are interested in testing out Scentbird, you can scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description and you can save 55% off your first month with the code ODAERICA. So next up we have You or Someone Like You by Etat Libre d'Orange, or Etat for short. And this is going to be a perfect, very refreshing summer signature scent that's very minty, creamy minty and green. It's a very bright, creamy mint paired with grapefruit and bergamot. It has anise, green nose, cassis, rose, hedione, and white musk. It has a really nice kind of cooling sensation with a very dewy rose. It's kind of like just after the rain, but not in such a musky, like musty. There's an element like that in here, but it's very minimal. But really you just get kind of like a soft, dewy, wet rose. And this is such an underrated niche house, by the way. Very high quality products for a very low, like entry level price. I'm pretty sure that this bottle starts out around $100. This is absolutely stunning. If you are a mint lover, this is a beautiful unisex mint fragrance. Mint rose, kind of herbal fragrance for summer. It's very well done, and honestly, this is right up there with things like Torino 21 from Xerjoff and Sedley by Parfum de Marly. Like, the quality is here. You or Someone Like You. So next we have my absolute summer addiction, Wulong Cha X from Nishane. This is an absolute summer must-have, guys. It's an absolute must if you love tea. This has yuzu and bergamot, orange, green tea and magnolia, thyme, fig, and musk. It is just an impeccable combination. This literally is what I think heaven smells like. It smells like a 5-star hotel in Italy. Just like the linen sheets, it's so crisp and clean, and the tea in this is very meditative and laid back, but also earthy in a very aromatic way. It's like the hotel in Italy mixed with the landscape surrounding it and the citruses. The fig is very creamy. It has a very soft kind of tropical feel. Perfect for someone that doesn't want something straightforward tropical, like fruity tropical. It's the perfect scent for someone that just wants a fragrance that embodies the feeling of a luxury vacation. A very like happy, uplifting, very clean scent that's not fruity or like overall floral. Like just very clean, very crisp, very luxurious, but not like your typical floral summertime fragrance. Citrusy, musky, clean, a touch powdery, absolutely heavenly. It's so good, and this has great performance as well, especially for a tea like a classic clean musky fragrance. This performs phenomenally. Easily 8 to 10 hours on the skin. I'm honestly surprised that I don't have a bigger dent in this because I've been wearing it a lot. So next we have a fragrance for someone that wants to smell very bold, very sensual, and unlike anyone else, and most of all, very flirty. We have Cavort from Fragrance du Bois. I was thinking about this. If I had to pick just one Fragrance du Bois for life, it would be Cavort. After a lot of decision making, I decided this would be the absolute best. Smelling this on a man is so alluring and inviting and very memorable. And of course, the fragrance is inspired by flirting. This is going to be your summer night go-to. Oh my gosh. Saffron and cinnamon with Divana, geranium, rose, ylang ylang, and jasmine with sandalwood, incense, labdanum, and patchouli. It is just so perfectly executed. So many angles and facets to this fragrance. It's truly mesmerizing. It almost stuns you in a way. It's a very sweet rose with this tropical side from this ylang ylang, but it has a lot of spices from this saffron and this kind of like light, incensey, leathery vibe in the base too. Makes it very exotic, mixed with some kind of greenness. It's just crazy elevated and crazy unique as well. There's nothing you can compare this to. It's just one of the most sensual fragrances on earth and very romantic, but romance done in a very sexy way, a very hot way. Unisex, but definitely leaning slightly masculine because of that spice and the leather. Cavort is the fragrance you need if you want to smell romantic, if you want to stand out and just smell very sensual. So next up, we have Azzaro Wanted Eau de Toilette Intense. You guys know that I've been just raving about this one lately, and still, in my opinion, is the #1 designer release of 2024 so far. It's just a fragrance that makes me drool. Literally, this scent just makes my eyes roll into the back of my head. It is so sexy. Fresh and very bright with bergamot and lavender, but it's also immediately very creamy and very smooth. It's kind of sparkling in a way, a little bit icy with this liqueur note, kind of like, it gives the feeling that the liqueur is on the rocks, mixed with the kind of green mossiness. It adds more masculinity and a little bit of an earthiness. It's simple, and you wouldn't think that it would smell very elegant, but it does. So appealing and different, especially in the Wanted line. This is definitely like Azzaro's summer version of the Wanted. And I like it how, to me, it comes across as the summer fragrance, but there's nothing really typically summery about it, you know, other than that bergamot and lavender. But that liqueur note, like, you wouldn't think that that would be a wearable scent in the heat, but it really is. Ultra, ultra sexy and masculine. Every time I smell this, I'm swooning. Gives off a like very dark, sexy vibe. It's an absolute must try. Azzaro Wanted Eau de Toilette Intense. So next we have Perseus from Parfum de Marly. This is going to be the #1 compliment getter for summer from Parfum de Marly, at least this summer. This is going to be their take on a very nice citrus kind of vetiver fragrance. Grapefruit has black currant with a big dose of this dry vetiver and muskiness. It has some ambergris and woodiness. It's a very bright, zesty grapefruit and very realistic as well. This also kind of has a very slight kind of like a ventus-y feel to it from that ambergris and that black currant. It's just so outgoing and lively. And by the way, it does not smell like Terre d'Hermes, so don't listen to people that say that. They're literally crazy. There's just something extra in here, like something a little different than just your typical freshies. It's a very just vibrant, happy scent. It got a little bit of hate when it first was released, but I think we're gonna see a lot of people singing the praises of Perseus this summer. We'll see. So next up, we have Liquide Gold from Liquide Imaginaires. This is one of the most drop-dead gorgeous fragrances in my entire collection. The perfect summer fragrance for someone that wants something different, but very niche, but insanely good and unforgettable. This is a very solar, spicy, woody summer scent. Has a musky vanilla with orange blossom, carrot seeds, coriander, and saffron. Super, super solar. It's kind of like you're sitting under the sun, like on a hillside. It's very airy and breezy and creamy. So crazy elegant, sophisticated, and put together. Another 10 out of 10 versatile summer signature if you just want to smell like the richest, most elevated person. Anytime, any place, if you wear something like Liquide Gold, you are going to be the best smelling person in any room that you walk into. So to wrap up the list, we're going to be talking about Lake Balaton from Super's Budapest. Now this is a more recent release from the house, and it has been a favorite of mine recently. Of course, besides my #1 lady killer fragrance, Smesh. And I love this because it's very transformative. I kind of wrote it off in the beginning when I first smelled it. My first impression was like, and then I came back to it like an hour later and I was like, what? This fragrance really transforms, especially on the skin. It opens with this really nice kind of citrusy spice from saffron and grapefruit, a very dry, sweet saffron, and a little bit of vetiver too. You get a lot of earthiness, it's mossy. It takes like 25%, I would say, maybe a little less of like a Baccarat Rouge 540 DNA, but it makes it very citrusy, very green, and very masculine with that earthiness. Way, way, way more wearable as a man. It's not as sweet either, and as it dries, it just continues to get greener, deeper, and more of these woods and ambers start to appear. Super elegant, very dressy, and very ultra masculine. And it has this interesting twist to it as well. To me, it just really embodies like a European summer and style to me. And I just love how this dries. It actually, like in a way, becomes more and more masculine. It starts off citrusy with a little bit of sweetness from that saffron, but as it dries, it gets even drier and you get more woods and this like vetiver mossiness. It's another 10 out of 10 from Super's Budapest. I'm telling you, the more that I try from them, the more that I fall in love with this house. They are really, really good. So guys, that was just my top 10 compliment getting fragrances. Fragrances that are going to get you compliments everywhere you go this summer. And thank you so much to Scentbird for sponsoring today's video. And once again, if you guys are interested, you can save 55% off your first month with the code OdaErica, and the information will be linked in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below. What is your go-to summer fragrance for compliments? I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.